What's going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another OPTC video, and in today's video we are taking Kazuki Oden into the Uetist Kid Forest, the Forest of Training Magnetic. Between that and the Hawkins Forest, the two hardest forests that are going around at the moment on OPTC Global. So we're going to take Kazuki Oden into the forest and see how he performs. So we are bringing a friend Roger with this team once again. Double Oden is just really tricky to run, and Roger just supplies so much as a captain that I just had to bring Kazuki Oden's main man, his captain, the Pirate King Goldie Roger. So our leader is Kazuki Oden. He is the orb booster for this particular team. He also gives 1 orbs, which is really, really strong. So that helps out quite a bit. He's a rainbow captain too, which is quite nice. So we can bring a whole bunch of other units to help him out. Now, because we're bringing a friend Roger, we can activate his super typing as well. It's another reason to, like, there's a really good list here, but for the long content, there's really not that much besides, Roger. Like, I mean, you could argue wipe it, I guess, but, like, until we get some better, like, variations of these units, for long content, I'm talking. I mean, like, I know there are very good units, like for Kiku, the Kazuna one, Cap Viper, Dogsum's got rare recruits. But for long content, besides Roger, there's not much else. So, next we have Usohachi. Usohachi is just an absolute goat. He's so damn good, especially for this forest, as his special removes the 3 defense ups. He gives us cooldown, and he delays the enemy for 2 turns. He's awesome for the killer stage. Next we have Vivi Becca, the absolute queens of long content. We are using their defense up, as well as basically their switch ability to give us healing, as well as a chain multiplier. Next, we have Invinclay, another GOAT rare recruit purely for forests and stuff like that. We are using them for their bind and despair removal, as well as their healing. And they have the amazing switch ability where they reduce paralysis by 1 turn, and they give us a defense buff for 20%. Finally, we have Sabo Koala in this team. Because like majority of the team is cerebral and free spirit, their switch ability is going to come into play quite, pretty handy. And their amazing special ability to remove block orbs, give us a 2.25 times attack boost, is going to help us out quite a bit as well. They are probably replaceable on this team, I would say. They're probably the only unit that is replaceable. But as I mentioned, they do give color affinity to this entire team, besides Vivi Rebecca. But when Rebecca is... Well, no, sorry, they do give color affinity to Vivi Rebecca because Vivi Rebecca is cerebral. So, yeah, everyone on this team, pretty handy. Finally, we have the Liberal Hind as the ship. Just the cooldown of the Liberal Hind is really, really good, and the Aura Jackson makes perfects easy to hit, which is awesome. But when you have burn, it's not the case. So, bringing the Liberal Hind, getting that extra recovery for our captain helps us out a little bit as well. So, yeah, that's enough about the team. The support's just all stat boosters, as you guys can see. Nothing special about those. So let's hop into the run, and let's see how Kazuki Oden and Roger perform against the Kid Forest. Bring it on, homeboy. Here we are against Apu on stage 11 of the Kid Forest with the Kazuki and Roger team. So Apu is going to slot seal our entire crew for 1 turn and give us 1 turn of paralysis. It's not the end of the world when he does that. We just can switch without Invinclay to remove the paralysis, and then we can just take him out over the 2 turns. You can use the switch ability of Vivi back here to give yourself a chain lock as well. Does the extra damage against Apu, makes him fairly easy to take out. If you don't have a way to remove the paralysis, he can be a bit of an annoyance, but with this particular team and Invinclay, that switch ability it helps out so damn much. Normally using it for the defense damage reduction, but the extra paralysis removal is just so handy too. Next, we come up against Beej, Grotty, and Vito. They're a bunch of int units that put up 10 turns of damage reduction and threshold, which can use a Roger special here just to wipe the 2 in the back, and then that way we can just take out Beej in 1 turn. Roger's special there is just so good. Super good. On to the next stage now. We're coming up against the Mad Monkey Rogue. Puts up 5 turns of defense up, and that's really about it. He hits pretty hard, so you do want to kill him pretty quick. We are going to use Vivi Rebecca's special here to remove the defense up. That way we can get a 2 times color affinity for our cerebral and our free spirit units. And then we can use our Kazuki Oden special. That's going to give us a orb boost as well as turning the red and matching slots into Wano slots. That can be a bit of an annoyance though, as when you come into this stage here, you will be you do want like 2 int orbs. The easiest way to do that is to be Invinkov and obviously Roger, but our Roger had a 1 orb, so that kind of cucked us there. Plus we were Bonclay as well, which was a bit silly. But if you guys have limit break your Oden and your Usopp, you will have barrier pen, so that does help out quite a bit, as you can sort of just blast through the barriers that way. And that's how I actually managed to kill the little bug man. So we do want to kill the int unit. He's going to be our priority, as we are going to stall on the fire breather. Can use the switch ability of Sabo Koala 2 to guarantee you another int orb as well. That's another way of getting the orb. But what we're going to do here is we're just going to use Oden's super typing. That way he's going to give himself a huge stat buff as well as a Wano orb. And we're going to rely on his barrier pen to just take out this guy here. Make sure you're using the Liberal Hind special whenever you get it as well. These guys special bind your entire crew, and they roll your captain's specials back, I'm pretty sure. No, well, we didn't have our specials actually because we used them. They roll your yeah, they do. They roll your captain specials back, and then I'm pretty sure they roll your middle units back as well. I think they roll all your specials back actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But now that we have taken out the int unit, this is where we are going to stall out. So after we kill the int unit, or after the second turn, the fire breather does give you 5 turns of burn, and on the next turn he's going to turn all colored orbs into unfavorable orbs, which is fairly annoying. But with Sabo Koala on this team, we can actually use their special, and they can completely remove that. So once their special comes back, we are going to use that, and then we're actually just going to use this time to stall out and get our specials back on this guy. So make sure you guys are using the switch ability of your Invinclay to get the damage reduction. I was going to say defense up. The damage reduction. And make sure you're using your VVBX specials as well, just so you're getting some healing. Basically, you just want to stall out until Sabo Koala's special hits around 6 turns. Once they hit around 6 turns, you can just sort of burst him down then. With the switch ability of VV Wrecker and that chain lock, it just gives so much extra damage that you can just take him out very easily. On to the next stage now, we come up against Killer. Killer puts up 5 turns of damage reduction. He has a very annoying counter mechanic too, which is like super OP. So if you get hit by that, you like most likely are going to die, unless you bring like a little pig or something like that. But what we're going to do here is we're going to use Usahachi's special. Usahachi's is built for this stage. He gives you 2 turns of delay, and he removes the damage reduction too. Killer also gives you a 1 special only debuff, so you can only use 1 special on him, but with the delay, you just take your time, take the 3 turns, use this time to stall back for your specials. Basically, every team that every time I verse Kid, like, I just find a way to put Usahachi on it. Purely for this stage here, it makes it so easy. Plus, Usahachi just gives cooldown as well. Like, he's just such a good rare recruit. Can't wait for his limit break key. I'll definitely be limit break keying him when he comes out. Once you kill Killer, you move on to the Big Mom stage. You want to make sure Invinclay isn't like binded, otherwise you won't be able to use their special, and we're actually going to use their special to remove the bind here. Big Mom just chooses 2 random units, so just make sure it isn't them, and you can reload the game if you need to. What we're going to do here is we use the switch abilities of our Sabo Koala, use the switch abilities of our Vivi Rebecca for the chain lock and the color affinity, and then we can use the Sabo Koala special to give us a full bot of orbs, and then give us a huge 2.25 attack boost, and with that we can just blast through the Big Mom. No worries whatsoever. On to the next stage now. We're coming up against Basil Hawkins, Ekdrake, and Page 1. There are a whole bunch of Dex units. Basil Hawkins puts up 1 turn of defense up, and they remove your sound effects for 3 turns, which is really annoying, but it's not the end of the world. So what we want to do here is we are going to switch with VV Rebecca to give it or actually no, I don't think we swap. We don't really need the chain lock. We just use their special though to remove the defense up and to get 2 times color affinity for our Cerebrals and our Strikers, which is basically just them. Now I used the super typing here, but I don't think I would recommend doing that. As you could see, I had quite a few strength orbs on my characters, and that's something that that we sort of kept from the turn before with the Sabo and Koala special. So I wouldn't use the super typing there. Just use the special of Oden to get the orb buff. He's going to turn any red orbs into 1 slots. And then we can use Roger to give us an attack buff. And then with Roger's amazing captain ability, we can stop the Hawkins interrupt. So that way we keep our attack buff. And as you can see, we have so much damage here. And we don't even attack with Saber Koala. Now, if you don't kill page 1, it's not the end of the world either. So you can stall an extra turn there. On to the next stage, we come up against King. King puts up 4 turns of damage. Oh, I do it again. Yeah, damage reduction. I wanted to say it right. Puts up, what? 4 turns that goes down to 3 turns. Start again. Goes to 3 turns of damage reduction, 3 turns of defense threshold, and binds your ship for 4 turns. So he's fairly annoying, and every single turn after the first turn, he's going to put up a slot barrier. Each time you verse him, he puts up a slot barrier. It starts as a quick. I think it goes quick. Then it goes int, dex, strength, psi. I'm pretty sure that's the order. So what I tend to do is I try and farm out a dex orb, because that's when you can actually start doing damage to King. Well, that's when the defensive effects go away anyway. So for the meantime, we're just going to use the switch abilities of Clay and VV Becker. That way we can just get that healing. We can get the damage reduction, which is great as well. And then any extra meat orbs will be greatly appreciated. So as you can see here, I kept a dex orb on my Usahachi. That was the easiest way for me to guarantee just a little bit of damage against King here. Now, I think I get very, very lucky on this particular stage with Barrier Pen. So what I would recommend doing is holding off on using the Rogers super typing earlier in the fight and actually saving it for this particular fight. That way you can guarantee yourself a Psi Orb at the end. But if you have max limit broken your Oden and your Usahachi, you will have Barrier Pen anyway. So as you can see here, we are going to use the switch ability of VV Becker. That way we can guarantee our strength orb. Now, getting the extra damage on this particular stage is sort of just luxury. Ideally, you want to get damage, but you should have like a fair chunk of damage just with the Barrier Pen themselves. Now, ideally here, this is where you'd want to use the super typing of Roger. Sorry, you use the super typing of Roger on the last turn, because that way you get the guaranteed red orb on Usahachi, and then you lock the orbs there, so you get the guaranteed orb on Roger. So that's the way I would have done it. Sort of as I was going, I was like, oh man, I'm actually stuffed here. But if you just save the super typing for when the red orb barrier comes up, you guys shouldn't have any issues whatsoever. As you can see here, I managed to get lucky with an orb, my Usahachi, and he just did heaps and heaps of damage to take out King. So we got very lucky there, but like I said, if you use the super typing on the red orb stage, you should be able to kill King pretty easy claps. On to the next stage now, we come up against Kaido. Kaido is a int unit. He gives us a 2 special only debuff, and he puts up a negate damage for the first turn. So we are just going to pass a turn here. Oh, he negates damage from Psi units. So we're just going to sort of pass a turn here, and then he's going to hit us for around 10k every single turn. With the switch ability of VV Rebecca, we can get some healing back. But what you can actually do is you can actually just use the Invinclay special here. That way you can just get 5 turns of auto heal, and it just guarantees us basically 3 turns on Kaido. And we can just like slowly take him down turn by turn using the 2.5 times chain lock that we get from Vivi Becker, and the color affinity buff we get from Saber Koala. Helps us out just by getting just extra damage as we hit our grades and as we make our way through Kaido's HP pool. With the super typing, Roger just hits so damn hard. Just on normal attacks, he's just with his type color affinity. And you can boost that with Saber Koala as well. It's just, and obviously when Invinclay is as well. So any meat orbs you get collect along the way is just bonus as well. Make sure to gobble them up just for some extra healing. But it's not overly necessary, especially if you have your Invinclay limit break keyed. They just have so much recovery. So their auto heal is something like 12k, I think it is, with the Liberal Hind as well. So it's just so much damn healing. That way we can just slowly chip away at Kaido, get him close to death right as we get to the end of our auto heal. And we get to the end of the burn. Definitely don't hit your perfects, as Kaido's burn will kill you. It's a huge 25k burn. So definitely do not hit your perfects. This is where the Liberal Hind sort of trumps the Aura Jackson. The Aura Jackson makes it really, really easy to hit perfects, very similar to the new Zunisha. So you can get absolutely cucked. And you can sort of get hit perfects when you don't want to. You definitely use a Roger special along the way here. You don't really have to stall that much on Kaido. The burn's not that big of an issue. I was just sort of like thinking about what comes next and how I wanted to keep playing it. But then I realized I was like right at the end of the run. So at the end now, we are going to use our Sabo Koala special here. That's going to turn all of our orbs into matching orbs. Now remember, you can only use 2 specials. So use the switchability of Sabo Koala to get color affinity. And use the switchability of Vivi Rebecca to get a chain lock. And then with the full border orbs that Sabo Koala give you, we can turn them into Wano slots with our Oden special. So that's really, really handy there. We have a 2.25 times attack boost. We have a 2.5 times orb boost and super typing, you name it, this team's got it. So there you guys go. Kazuki, Oden, and Goldie Roger absolutely destroying the Kid Forest. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. And if you did, make sure to hit that like button. If you want to stay up to date with all more OPTC content I post, hit the big red subscribe button too. But guys, most importantly, enjoy the rest of your day. I thank you guys for watching as always, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Lights!